Have you ever waited so long for something that you almost gave up? That's how Isaac and Rebekah felt. Isaac, the son of Abraham, had married Rebekah when he was 40 years old. She was kind, beautiful, and full of faith. But year after year passed, and still, they had no children. Their home was quiet. No laughter of children. No little feet running through the tent. Just silence. Rebekah's heart ached. People whispered. She cried often when no one was watching. Isaac, too, felt the sorrow. But instead of giving up, he turned to the one who gives life, God. Isaac prayed. Not just once. He prayed with all his heart. He asked God to bless Rebekah with a child. And God heard him. One day, Rebekah began to feel different. She grew weak in the mornings. Her appetite changed. She started to glow with joy. She was finally pregnant. But her joy didn't last long. Inside her womb, something didn't feel right. The baby moved, but not like other women described. It was as if a battle was happening inside her. Some days, she couldn't sleep. Other days, she held her belly and cried out, "Lord, why is this happening to me?" So she did what wise women do. She went to God. And God answered. He spoke to her heart, saying, "Two nations are in your womb. Two peoples will be separated from within you. One people will be stronger than the other, and the older will serve the younger." Rebekah was shocked. Not one baby, two. And not just twins, but two different nations. A conflict had already begun in her womb. And God had already chosen which one would lead. The younger, not the older, would carry the promise. Months later, the day came. Rebekah cried out in pain. The tent was filled with midwives and servants. Isaac stood outside, praying again. And then, the first baby arrived, covered in red hair from head to toe. They named him Esau, meaning hairy. But even before Rebekah could rest, another cry was heard. The second baby came out, gripping his brother's heel tightly as if trying to pull him back. This baby was smaller, quieter, with smooth skin. They named him Jacob, meaning heel catcher or supplanter. The twins were born, just as God had said. Esau and Jacob. Two brothers. Two nations. A story that would shape generations. As the babies cried and clung to their mother's warmth, Rebekah quietly remembered God's words. She looked at little Jacob and whispered to herself, "The older will serve the younger." But what did that mean? How would it happen? Only time would tell. And so, the story of two brothers began, not just a story of family, but of faith, choices, and the plan of God unfolding in ways no one expected. Esau and Jacob grew up quickly. Esau became a strong, rugged man. He loved the outdoors, hunting animals, running through the fields, feeling the wind in his hair. His skin was rough, and he always smelled like the wild. His father, Isaac, loved him dearly, especially when Esau brought home fresh meat. There was something about Esau that reminded Isaac of strength and adventure. Jacob, on the other hand, was calm and thoughtful. He liked to stay close to home. He watched how people acted. He listened more than he spoke. His hands were soft, his eyes observant. He helped Rebekah in the kitchen, tending the animals, cooking, and learning how to make the best bread and stew. Rebekah loved Jacob deeply. He was her quiet joy. Though they were twins, Esau and Jacob were nothing alike. But there was something bigger between them, the birthright. In those days, the birthright wasn't just about being born first. It meant leadership. It meant blessings. It meant carrying the family's future and receiving a double portion of inheritance. Esau was born first. By tradition, the birthright was his. But Jacob remembered what God had said to Rebekah, that the older would serve the younger. One hot afternoon, the air was dry, and the sun blazed like fire. Esau came back from hunting, empty-handed. His feet dragged. His mouth was dry. His stomach rumbled loudly. He walked into the tent and smelled something delicious. A rich, red stew simmered in a clay pot. Jacob stood over it, gently stirring, the scent of spices floating through the air. Esau groaned. "Jacob, I'm starving. Give me some of that red stew before I die." Jacob turned slowly, wiping his hands. He looked at Esau with steady eyes. "I'll give you some," Jacob said calmly, "but only if you sell me your birthright." Esau blinked. "What?" "Your birthright," Jacob repeated. "Trade it to me for this bowl of stew." Esau laughed bitterly. "I'm dying here. What use is a birthright to a dead man?" "Then swear it to me," Jacob said. Without much thought, Esau nodded and gave his word. "Fine. It's yours." Jacob handed him the bowl. Esau devoured the stew, chewing loudly, drinking it down like a man lost in the desert. And just like that, he gave away his birthright. He didn't even realize what he had lost. Jacob watched him quietly, a strange look in his eyes. He had the birthright now, but something about the trade didn't feel right. Not because of what he got, but because of how cheaply Esau gave it away. Esau wiped his mouth and stood up, satisfied. But heaven had taken note. That day, one brother filled his stomach. The other stepped closer to the promise of God. Years passed. Isaac grew old. His eyesight dimmed until he could barely see. His hands trembled, and his voice had become soft with age. One day, he called for Esau. "My son," Isaac said from his bed. "Here I am," Esau answered, stepping into the tent. "I am an old man," Isaac whispered. "I do not know the day of my death. Take your bow and hunt wild game for me. Prepare the kind of tasty food I love, and bring it to me so I may bless you before I die." Esau's eyes lit up. The blessing was the final stamp of the birthright. The words of power passed from father to firstborn. He left immediately with his bow. But someone else was listening. Rebekah stood behind the curtain, her heart racing. She remembered what God had told her before the boys were born: the older will serve the younger. Now the moment had come. She rushed to find Jacob. "Your father is about to bless Esau. There's no time to lose. Do exactly as I say. Go and bring me 2 young goats. I'll cook them just the way your father loves. You will take it to him and receive the blessing." Jacob froze. "But mother, Esau is hairy. I have smooth skin. What if father touches me? He'll know I'm tricking him, and I'll get a curse instead of a blessing." Rebekah grabbed his shoulders. "Let the curse fall on me, my son. Just do as I say." Jacob hesitated. But then, he obeyed. He brought the goats. Rebekah cooked the meal quickly, adding the herbs and flavors Isaac loved. Then she dressed Jacob in Esau's best clothes. She took goat skins and wrapped them around his hands and neck so he would feel hairy like his brother. Jacob took the food and walked slowly into his father's room. "My father," he said. "Yes? Who is it?" Isaac asked. Jacob's voice trembled. "I am Esau, your firstborn. I've done as you asked. Sit up and eat so you can bless me." Isaac hesitated. "How did you find the meat so quickly?" "Because the Lord your God gave me success," Jacob answered. Isaac leaned forward. "Come near so I can touch you." Jacob stepped closer. Isaac felt his hands and said, "The voice is Jacob's, but the hands are Esau's." Still uncertain, Isaac ate the food and drank the wine. Then he called Jacob close and kissed him. The smell of Esau's clothes fooled him. His heart softened. And then, Isaac gave the blessing, the sacred words meant for the firstborn. "May God give you heaven's dew and earth's richness. May nations serve you and people bow to you. Be lord over your brothers, and may your mother's sons bow down to you. Those who curse you be cursed, and those who bless you be blessed." Jacob stood silent, heart pounding. Then he left, just in time. Moments later, Esau walked in. "Father, I've brought your food. Sit up and bless me." Isaac trembled. "Who are you?" "I am Esau, your son." Isaac's face went pale. "Then who was just here? I blessed him, and he will surely be blessed." Esau cried out, "Bless me too, father." But it was too late. The blessing had already been given. Esau stood frozen, his eyes wide with shock. The bowl of stew he had once eaten now burned in his memory. The careless words he had spoken, "What good is a birthright to me?" echoed loudly in his heart. And now, he had lost both the birthright and the blessing. "Father, please," Esau cried, his voice breaking. "Don't you have even one blessing left for me?" Isaac, old and trembling, shook his head slowly. "Your brother came with deceit and took your blessing." "But father," Esau pleaded, falling to his knees, "isn't there something, anything, you can say over me?" Tears streamed down his face. The strong, wild hunter was now a broken man. Isaac sighed and spoke softly. "Your home will be away from the richness of the earth. You will live by the sword, and you will serve your brother. But one day, you will break free." Esau's fists clenched. The sorrow inside him turned into something else, anger. He left his father's tent with rage burning in his chest. "When my father dies," he muttered, "I will kill my brother Jacob." He meant it. But someone was listening again. Rebekah. She rushed to Jacob's side. "Your brother is planning to kill you. You must leave, now. Go to my brother Laban in Haran. Stay with him until Esau cools down." Jacob nodded. His heart was heavy. He hadn't just tricked his brother, he had torn apart the family. He packed quickly and quietly, slipping away before sunrise. Before he left, Isaac called him one last time. His voice was gentler now. "Don't marry from the women of this land," he told Jacob. "Go to your mother's family and take a wife from there. And may God Almighty bless you, make you fruitful, and increase your numbers. May he give you the blessing of Abraham." Jacob nodded silently, his eyes full of emotion. He had received the blessing, but not the way it should have happened. He had his father's words, but not his brother's love. He walked for days, all alone. One night, as the sun disappeared behind the hills, Jacob found a place to sleep. He took a stone and laid it under his head as a pillow. The ground was hard, the air cold. He curled up, feeling the weight of everything he had done. But as he slept, God gave him a dream. He saw a stairway resting on earth, with its top reaching into heaven. Angels were going up and down the stairs. And at the top stood the Lord. "I am the Lord, the God of your father Abraham and Isaac," God said. "I will give you and your descendants this land. I am with you and will watch over you wherever you go. I will not leave you." Jacob woke up with tears in his eyes. "Surely the Lord is in this place," he whispered, "and I didn't even know it." He stood up, took the stone, and poured oil on it. Then he made a promise. "If God will be with me, give me food to eat and clothes to wear, and bring me back safely, then the Lord will be my God." Jacob's journey had just begun. He left with nothing, but a promise from God. Isn't it amazing how one story from long ago can still speak directly to our hearts today? Jacob and Esau were twin brothers, but their choices led them down very different paths. Esau gave away something precious, his birthright, for a bowl of stew, simply because he was hungry in the moment. Jacob, on the other hand, desired the blessing so badly that he used deceit to get it. Both of them made emotional, short-sighted decisions, and both paid the price in different ways. But here's what we can learn from their journey. Your choices today shape your tomorrow. It's easy to act out of emotion, when you're tired, angry, jealous, or afraid. Like Esau, you might be tempted to throw away something valuable just to feel better for a moment. Or, like Jacob, you might think that the only way to get ahead is to cheat or take matters into your own hands. But God sees the bigger picture. Jacob did receive the blessing, but not with peace. He had to leave home, live in fear, and go through a long, hard journey before he truly understood what it meant to be blessed by God. Esau lost what was rightfully his, not because Jacob was stronger, but because Esau didn't value what he had until it was gone. So the question is, what are you chasing? And what are you willing to trade to get it? Sometimes we chase approval, success, love, or comfort. So much so that we give up our integrity, our relationships, even our walk with God. But the truth is, what God has for you can never be stolen, only delayed by our poor choices. God was still with Jacob. He didn't abandon him, even after the trick. Instead, God met him in the wilderness, showed him heaven's ladder, and gave him a promise: I am with you. I will not leave you. That's the heart of our God. He doesn't give up on us, even when we mess up. He still invites us back into his plan. And if we're willing to stop running, to reflect, and to trust him again, he can turn our mess into a mission. So friend, take a moment to think. Are you trading something eternal for something temporary? Are you trying to force your way instead of trusting God's timing? Is there a relationship in your life that needs healing, like Jacob and Esau's? God's story with Jacob didn't end in deceit. It continued in grace. And your story can, too. Stay patient. Stay faithful. And never forget, the blessing God has for you is worth waiting for.